Um, this is an accordion. uh, this is something that it's actually Italian, I believe. I'm trying to find the name on it. It's on this side. Crucinelli. I can't necessarily read it. My grandmother kept this in her attic for many, many years in a case. And we were clearing some stuff out, and we found this raggedy old box. And we said, well, what's this? And she went, oh, that's the accordion. So the case really did its job. The accordion's not in bad condition. It's got a few dings and bangs on it here and there. But, it works fairly well. I kind of want to get it somewhere to get it looked at, just because there's some things on it that are a bit finicky, but it opens and closes. There's a dog in the room now. It opens and closes, and there's things on it that I don't necessarily know, like what they do. There's a dial up here. I'd have to look up what it does. This thing also seems like it might be a bit broken. Not quite sure what it does. I think it does something with like allowing air to get pumped through an octave. And so there's things that I really like about the accordion. I think it's got a unique sound. I think it's something that culturally can be very important to people. I know there's a lot of elderly people that played accordion, or their father played accordion and their father was an expat from Poland or Germany, somewhere. And so you just get a lot of like emotions from it on its own. I'm not very good at playing it yet. I wanted to talk to Leah because I know Leah owns one. But I think the last time I asked her about hers, she said, I'll be honest, I only play with the keys. And I'll be honest, I was only really learning how to play with the buttons, because it's something I want to get better at. It's kind of in terms of a musical instrument, a very paradoxical to me, because I think of it a lot like a harmonica. You pump air in, you get a sound. You pump air out, you get a sound. But the difference is the harmonica, you get a different sound when you pump air in or out. If you're blowing or sucking. The accordion, it's the same sound regardless of if the air is going in or out. And so it's finding that balance, because like if I want to play a long note, where am I going? I gotta come back. And how do I hold the instrument while I'm doing that? These are things that I think if I took it to someone to get it looked at, I could ask them and they'd give me a better idea. I know there's a guy, I took it to get looked at the store here in Geauga, and they told me to go to the west side and see somebody, and I was like, well, wouldn't I go to the east side? Because that's where, what's his name? The accordion fellow. I can't remember his name. And he's got the polka museum, I think, in the east side named after him, and there's streets named after him. Oh my. Oh no. Well, this makes me mad, because I can think of the songs and I can think of his face and I can think of the accordion, but I can't think of him. Um, famous polka musician. I think he was actually from West Virginia or Kentucky, but he moved to Cleveland. So right there in the Slavic Village, we have like all this polka related stuff because of him, and partly and because of him. But I was like, what? There's not a guy on the East Side where this guy used to operate, and they're like, oh, there is, but he's not a nice guy. I don't care if he's a nice guy. I want him to fix an accordion. But what I kind of wanted to do with this video was highlight some things that I've noticed a little bit about the accordion and try to play a song. I had gotten one kind of practiced up, but it's been a while. So it's hard to tell, but all the buttons, there's a different purpose for them. The one that I have my ring finger on is actually unique to every other button. I wish there was more of them like this. It has a divot in it, so to speak, while all the other ones are kind of raised. So that's your C. That's your tonic, your 1. That row that it's in, I'm sure you already know this, but I find it I find it nice to go over. This row, this entire column, is going to be your roots for major chords, or for chords in general. So that's a C chord. Every other button in that row, I'm hitting some keys on there too. Every other button is related to C. The ones to the right of it, this far column, are all thirds, so you can do like little, going up, down. So it's I think it's an E, C, E, F, E, C, C, E, C, or no, it'd be B. But then you have to the, I guess it would be to the left for me, but for the right for everyone else, the major chord. Then you have a minor chord. Then you have a 7. And then I want to say it's a minor 7 or a diminished 7. I can't remember. But it's got its own sound. And this is the problem with not having more of them divoted. I can never find it once I get off of it. So I have to try and stay on it. But the thing that I found interesting, because it works in a circle of fifths, which makes sense. However, because I was really struggling, I would be able to like walk up the instrument when I was trying to learn how to play it initially, and be like, well, C, G, D, A, A, E, B, F sharp. I'm in the chords now. That would explain why it sounds so much nicer. But you get the point. It goes up by a circle of fifths. And I was sitting there thinking about that one day because I was really struggling with some of the reaches, because I was like, oh, I want to play a G, but then how do I find B? 7, is it that one? I don't, it's really hard to tell. And when I was playing around with that, I realized, because it's a circle of fifths, and this was something, I don't know why I never really thought of it before when working with the circle of fifths, but every 2 points on the circle of fifths is a whole step. So if I was to just like skip G, which I gotta find, now it's a D, E, then it would be F sharp, because it's a whole step, and then that should have been F sharp, G sharp, A flat. But I never thought of it that way, but it made it, when I was trying to play some songs, a little easier to tell where something is, because I'm looking, the song that I really was trying to focus learning on this for some reason was Love Me Tender, and there's a point where it's, let me find C, This is the. I wish there was more dimpled ones, so I could just at least find it. Because once you get up there, you don't know what's what. So I just C, G. It's in the. Yeah, we're gonna. And then you need a B. And I was like, well, how do I find that? Well, if you go D, A, and then one more is your B. So let's just see. And then it's B7, so it's like 10. Oh, 10. No, it's 10. Yeah, 10. Alright. I might have to cheat and look, because I am very flimsy with this. G, D, A, E, B. And then it's E minor, so it would be down to the left. It's so rough, but it's something I want to get better at, because I think you could do a lot with this, just in terms of bringing something familiar to a room, into a group of people. I'm gonna be down. Oh my goodness. And then it would be. Nah, I'm off. It's rough to stay on it because I don't have the dimple for the song. G7. True, true, true. All my dreams fulfilled. All I do is I love you. And I always true. All my hands were filled, all my knew all of you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear. Tell me you are mine, I'll be yours too, always, till the end of time. Love me tender, tender. Oh man, so yeah, that's something that I want to get better at. Again, I think the actual premise of the instrument is very confusing because you've got to do so much pumping. It reminds me of there's actually the bagpipes that everybody knows and hears and associates with the Irish are typically Scottish bagpipes. And that sounds like a very weird segue, but it's relevant because you have to pump so much air into the Scottish bagpipes. The Irish bagpipe, I forget what it's called. It has a special name. It has a bellows on the side. So you just sit there and pump it with the bellows more than actually filling it air with your own air. So you can focus much more on playing. But it's that idea of like you're spending so much time pumping it out. I have to hit the button to pumping it out. Oh, I locked it, so it's not even gonna go out. Pumping it out, pump it back in, pump it back out to pump it back in, and then if you're doing it wrong, something gets covered up or something sounds funny, and I just find it interesting. But it's something that I wanted to try and get a little better at, just to be able to play like a few things on it, even if it was just basic polkas, just so I could get the idea of it, because a lot of polkas are very similar too. So I feel like if you start to get one down, you start to get more of them down. So this is something that I've just been kind of playing around with a little bit, and I want to take it somewhere to kind of just investigate a little bit about this. This is I think Leah's accordion was a little smaller than this one, the one that she would bring to school. This one I think is a little bigger, but it's not like the biggest you can get. But it's not in bad condition. All the I keep calling them bellows, but everything is attached and in relatively good condition. The keyboard's the one thing that's kind of finicky and it might be kind of hard to see, but oh no, it's not. All the keys are a little bit odd, but that's because the case did its job. So that's another thing that I've been investigating and trying to learn a little bit more about.